Hey, how's it going, everyone? I'm your host, Chris, here at Hertastic Reviews. You know what this channel's all about. We talk about movies, we do rankings, we do reviews, we go on drunk rants, we do all of it. But today, we are doing something new. It's a tier list. I've noticed on different channels and stuff lately that these tier rankings have been blowing up, and I figured that looks kind of fun, so why not try it out? So I went ahead today because it's February, you know, the month of love. You know, for normal people, it's Valentine's Day, and you're getting a lot of money spent for like chocolates and all this really nice stuff for the significant other. But for a few kings out there and queens who don't have a significant other, they look to the Criterion flash sale that usually happens in February. We haven't had it yet, at least until on this recording. But I figured, you know what, it'd be kind of fun to talk about some Criterion movies, and you know, everyone on this channel knows my thoughts on the Criterion collection. But I figured maybe this is kind of trendy. If you're new to this channel, real quick though, I want you to hit that subscribe button that's here, because you're gonna find a lot of content you'll like. You'll like making fun of me in the comment section, which I always encourage. If you're returning back again, thank you again for your tolerance of my really bad humor, but and terrible film opinions. But I figured today we're gonna go through this random Criterion tier maker that I found on the website. I didn't make it, I just looked through it really quickly, and I'm sharing my screen here, and this is how they have their ranking. A definite buy, a top contender, a definite contender, a potential contender, I'll give it some thought, almost no way I would buy, no, or I don't know enough about it. I'm going to be putting these movies in the rankings for this. That will hopefully help you when you're going to buy and waste money on Criterions. I'm already like looking at this thing, and I'm just like, holy shit, that's a lot of movies. But what I did notice is there's a lot of duplicates on there. So we'll keep going on doing this until we run into a duplicate, and then we're just like, all right, we're wrapping this one up. So I guess the first duplicate we see is when we'll stop. So I haven't seen every movie on this list, so that's what's going to make this one interesting. If you've seen it, I'd love for you in the comment section to go ahead and let me know about it. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get into it. So our first movie that we have here is Eyes Without a Face. Phenomenal movie. Personally love it. If I can scroll here, this isn't, yeah, they don't make it easy, do they? But that is a definite buy. You would have to have that movie in there. Just a terrific 1960s French horror film. I absolutely love the movie. Own it myself. The next one, Martin Scorsese, The Last Temptation of Christ, which I don't own, but I've seen. It's a good movie, but it's not it's not a rewatchable Criterion movie. It's one you watch maybe every other Easter, so you take like a tier pause between Easters. So I put that maybe as a potential contender. If you're a Scorsese completionist, I would put that in there. Terrific movie. Harvey Keitel plays Judas, and I think it's a really good performance. Twin Peaks, I don't know anything about that, so we'll put that there. The Piano Teacher. Almost no way I would buy, but I wouldn't say completely no, just because that's a really hot scene right there. I have no idea what the movie's about, so if that's like something sus that I just made a comment on, then so be it. This movie looks trash, so we'll put that there. Close Up. I'll give it some thought. It's a movie that I've seen talked about often. I know Michael Cera talks about Close Up often, is one of his favorite movies, and I know a lot of other people recommend this movie. So I would probably put it at I'll give it some thought once I do research. I don't want to just blind buy. Funny Games by Michael Hanke, I believe. See, I saw Amour by him, and it was terrible. Absolutely hated Amour. And if any of his works are just like that, then I would put it as a no. But I've heard Funny Games is a weird one, so I'd have to give it some more thought, I would say. Let's see. Blue's the Warmest Color. Almost no. Actually, no, I wouldn't buy it, because I've seen some scenes from the movie. Just doesn't seem like a rewatchable movie. I would watch it, but I wouldn't buy it, just because I don't see myself ever putting it on. Seven Samurai is right here. I wish it was easier to scroll. That's my biggest problem. It's like you want to keep scrolling down. But let's see here. I'm going to use Seven Samurai. I already own the movie, if that tells you anything. And it is a definite buy. Seven Samurai by Akira Kurosawa. I believe it was 57 when this released. Or is it 56? I can't remember. But it's a terrific film. And it's an influential movie. Yeah, it's 3 hours long, but it is sublime. I feel like it's a movie when I get older I'll watch again. But yeah, Seven Samurai for sure. Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Last movie I saw before the pandemic hit. Is a definite. It's a definite contender. Beautiful story. Very well directed. It's a modern movie as well. I would put it as a definite contender. It has a little. I could see myself watching it more often than The Last Temptation of Christ, which I don't. Is that? I don't know. Is that okay to say? But I feel like I could watch A Portrait of a Lady on Fire a little bit more than just Last Temptation of Christ. Oh, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. I already own it. And if you don't own this movie, I would put it probably as a potential. I would put it as a definite contender. It's one of those memed movies, and because it has like the non-clear case release, it was actually released on a Blu-ray case. People get cheesed about that, at least collectors do. And I enjoy the movie. It was nominated for Best Picture in the 2008, I believe, or 2009, and I really enjoyed it. It's embedded in my mind forever. But you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it just a little bit more, it might be a potential contender instead. Just because I don't hear many people go like, I want to watch The Curious Case of Benjamin Button often enough. So, you know what? I'd put it as a potential contender just because it's not a rewatchable movie again. The Silence of the Lamb. This would be... I would put it as a top contender, and that's the only thing. The only reason I put it there is because you can get the standard Blu-ray release, and that suffice. And if you don't want to upgrade, I totally get not like those Blu-rays are cheap. They're like $5. If you don't want to pay an extra $15 to $20 to get an upgraded version of Silence of the Lambs, then I totally get that. It's it's like a definite buy if you don't own it, but if you already own it on Blu-ray and you're kind of like wanting to spend money elsewhere, it's a top contender. Like if you have a little extra money, then upgrade it. If you don't, that's okay. I upgraded it personally because I had a little bit more cash flow, but at the time, I'm poor as hell now. But yeah, I would say it's a top contender. It's a beautiful transfer as well, though. Love the movie. Tree of Life, no. Terrence Malick, don't care for. I think I've seen only one movie of his, and I didn't care at all. That was The Thin Red Line. Don't need to. Speaking of, I'll just put it. I'll put that there. The Bruce Lee. I would put that as a potential contender. Actually, we'd put it as a definite contender because those movies in there are awesome. It's a Criterion box set. Those are awesome. I wasn't super crazy about buying them all the way, just because Bruce Lee's movies are a little hit or miss at times. Like Game of Death is good. Way of the Dragon. I don't know. It does have Enter the Dragon, I believe. It might, but it might not. I can't remember. But if it doesn't, I don't think it's worth it. I don't know. It's a great box set. Its price tag is pretty steep at times, at least when it's not on sale. And I think it got bought out and the resale started to jump up on it. I would put it as a definite contender, just in case if you are not a huge martial arts fan. If you are, then it's a top contender. I don't own it personally because I have a Scream Factory or Shout Factory release that has a double pack plus Enter the Dragon. So I think there's like one or two movies in there that I don't own, but I've seen. So yeah, the Bruce Lee collection would go there. Blue Velvet from David Lynch is I will give it some thought because I actually haven't seen Blue Velvet. I've heard some things on it. I don't know. I don't know anything at all. I don't care about the cover. It doesn't look very good in my opinion. But I hear David Lynch is a director I need to get into. I've only seen Elephant Man and Oh crap, Eraserhead. So that's all my David Lynch. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, almost no way I would buy. I don't know, it just doesn't sound like my type of movie. I know some people who live and die by this movie. I don't think the cover's great. And just the trippy acidness of doesn't sound very appealing to me. But it does have Johnny Depp. Breakfast Club. Almost no way I would buy. The reason I put it there, it is an easy watch movie, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't care for John Hughes. I don't care for The Breakfast Club. I know that's bad to say, but I'm just not a fan of that movie. If I liked the movie, I would put it as a top contender if I didn't own a standard Blu-ray release of it. But yeah, I don't really care for The Breakfast Club. I've seen it like twice, and it still doesn't do much for me. Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Love the Bomb, Stanley Kubrick. That's a top contender film. Love that movie. Own it myself. Talk about a satirical film about the Cold War. Dr. Strangelove is such a good movie. And for a war satirical film, it's not that hard of a watch. You could watch it again and have a good few laughs. The Passion of Joan of Arc. Now, I don't own it. I've seen it, and that is a top contender. I would say you want to get this version versus the Eureka release because there are different, because it's a silent film, there are different ways the film is portrayed in the Criterion. I think there's, 3 different variations the movie can watch, all in silent or in certain music that's being played. And it's a fantastic movie. It's a phenomenal movie. The only reason I haven't bought it yet was because last sale I didn't participate in, and then before that, I already had bought way too much from other sales. So, but yeah, The Passion of Joan of Arc I would say is a top contender as well. Night of the Living Dead. So I got this when it was actually really cheap on Amazon. It was like $16 for some reason, brand new. That's a definite buy. Love Night of the Living Dead. Easy watch, essential. This is the best variation of the movie. It's a public domain film, so there's a lot of really shitty releases that have been put out because it's in the public domain. But Criterion put theirs out, and to me, that's a definitive version of a must-own movie. So Night of the Living Dead. That's a movie where with the Silence of the Lamb, the same thing. If you have another Blu-ray release of Night of the Living Dead, the only difference is upgrade it because it is a public domain and you want to upgrade to the best possible of movies if you can for those kind of things. If you own a Blu-ray, the Blu-ray release that's put out is from the studio and it's not a bad release, so because they aren't making 1,000 of those, so that's the only difference there. The Grand Budapest Hotel, almost no way I would buy. Just because Wes Anderson, it's a great movie. I really like Grand Budapest Hotel. But the thing is, I never buy any Wes Anderson releases because I know there's going to be some sort of box set in years to come once his filmography is done. Because every one of his movies is put out individually in releases. I'd want a box set. I wouldn't want to just keep buying these at $20 a piece because that box set would probably be gorgeous. So I would put almost no way I would buy unless the cover art is something that's phenomenal. It's transcendent. So Hoop Dreams, seen it 3 times, really great movie. It's gonna go into potential contender though, just because it is a long documentary. It's pretty heavy. I've seen it 2 or 3 times. I love basketball. I'm from near the Chicago area, but I'm from Rockford, but I have some sort of connection to it. But other than that, it's not very rewatchable, but it is a phenomenal movie. If you haven't seen it, you have to watch Hoop Dreams. If you haven't seen it forever, rewatch it. It still holds up. So Hoop Dreams, I would put as a potential contender. It might even slip into the definite contender. The Seventh Seal, almost no way. Or I'd give it some thought because it's a great movie. It's a really, really great movie. But the Bergman box set is such a better bang for your buck with a lot of even if you're not into Bergman or you just have zero experience with Bergman. Seventh Seal will be a good one. Smiles of Summer Night. get those on the box set because you're gonna go through that box set and you're gonna start finding a lot of movies that you can't buy anywhere else that are great. So yeah, like A Ship to India, for example, is one of his better movies from that set that I've gone through. I'm at Centerpiece 1, is where I stopped with Nathan. We plan to kick back on that at some point. Drunk Punch Love, I haven't seen yet, but it is a potential contender because I haven't seen it, but I really want to watch it. I don't know if I like it to own it, but if I do like it, then it would jump up. So that's where I'll be putting it. All That Jazz. Oh, man, All That Jazz. I really like this movie, 1979 Bob Fosse film. I owned it and sold it. I was a little tight for money. But it is, I would say it's a potential contender film. It's pretty heavy on some parts because it's basically like an autobiography. It has Roy Scheider in it. It's a really great movie. But it's a movie I watched that hasn't left my mind, and I don't feel like I need to keep rewatching it. It's one of those heavy hitters. Speaking of heavy hitters, Marriage Story. I love this movie. It's a Netflix release, and it's a definite buy. Noah Baumbach works are just so rewatchable. They have the emotional punch. They're just terrific looking movies because they're on film. Marriage Story was also a nominated Best Picture winner. It's a definite buy. 1984, I don't know anything about it. Don't even look interested in that. Do the Right Thing. I own the standard Blu-ray. I would put it as a definite buy. And I'm going against my better judgment here. It's I haven't bought it because I own their standard Blu-ray release and it's good. But if you don't own it, you have to own it this way. This brick release is amazing. I've seen it firsthand. I just haven't pulled the trigger because there's other movies that I want to buy that that I can't get anywhere else. But for the time being, Do the Right Thing is one that I already own, and I will upgrade it eventually. But for those who don't have it yet, Do the Right Thing is a definite buy. It's a gorgeous release too. Solaris, don't know anything about. This looks like a Bergman 3-piece set. I'm gonna put that as a no because you're just gonna want to buy the Bergman again. Bergman again with Persona. Just buy the Bergman set. Just buy the Bergman set. Robocop. Here's the only thing about this movie. It's a definite buy, but don't buy the Criterion DVD. Just buy the Arrow Blu-ray. But it is a definite buy movie. Stalker. I don't know anything about, but it's a movie I've thought about watching, so I'll give it some thought. But yeah, I don't know any Tarkovsky films. 8.5, haven't seen. I'd give it some thought though. It sounds very interesting. I just haven't seen this Fellaini film. Dazed and Confused, a movie with a standard Blu-ray release that has a great release. It's a top contender for me. Just because there's a standard Blu-ray release, it's a great rewatchable movie. If you love the movie, then it's a definite buy. If you really like the movie, and if you have the standard Blu-ray release, then, I think you'd be okay. But yeah, Dazed and Confused is great. Richard Linklater, just such a great movie. The Most Dangerous Game, don't know anything about it, but it looks like it's only a DVD release, so don't waste your money there. Scenes from a Marriage. That's, from what I've seen, is really good. But it's going to have to fall in that Bergman set right there, where you just got to buy the Bergman set. Tokyo Story is a potential contender. I haven't seen it. I've read really great things about it. It's a Japanese neo-noir film. And the cover, just the premise of it sounds so interesting. It's a potential contender I would blind buy for. Hamlet, bleh, don't know anything about that. Videodrome, I own. David Cronenberg. I think this movie should be... Oh, I don't know. My phone was going off. Let's see. A top contender. Nah, you got to own Videodrome. If you like body horror, if you like Cronenberg, James Woods, Videodrome is a must buy. It's just it's one of the better releases from Criterion. Like, it looks like a VHS cassette tape. And it's a crazy body horror movie, and it's quotable. So long live the new Flash with a definite buy there. Notorious from Hitchcock. I haven't gotten really into Hitchcock, so almost no way I would buy, just because also there's a bunch of like Hitchcock box sets I feel like you could buy, and I feel like Notorious would be thrown in there. I don't know. I like, again, I apologize. I'm not the biggest Hitchcock guy. I haven't even like felt the need to get into his works. I've only seen Psycho, I think. But yeah. Barry Lyndon. That's a definite contender to a top contender. That's tough. I'll put a definite contender. I own it, but here's the thing about it. It is longer, but it is a gorgeous movie. It might be a top contender. I'll keep it as a definite contender just because I don't know. It is. Yeah, we'll leave it a definite contender. Ikaru, I haven't seen it, but I really want to. So I would put it as a potential contender because I've been having the chance to buy it and I just don't. I kind of want to watch it before I buy it because it seems like it's a heavy film. Kind of reminds me of like It's a Wonderful Life in a way. Kurosawa, I've only seen 2 of his movies, I believe. So I'm not like educated enough to know if it'd be good enough to just blind buy. So yeah, I would put it as a potential contender there. Bully for Columbine? No, from Michael Mann. Cries? Again, no, Bergman movie. Inside Llewyn Davis is a definite buy. Coen Brothers movie. It has a standard Blu-ray release, but it's bare bones. You want to get this Criterion release. It's a gorgeous cover. It has way better features. Yeah, a definite buy. It's the best Coen Brothers movie in my opinion. I shouldn't say that so like easily because they have such an impeccable filmography, but Inside Llewyn Davis is definitely one you want to buy. Just a all-around better version. In the Mood for Love, I'll give it some thought. I've heard things about this movie. I haven't done that much else other than I'm aware of it and I hear great things. A Night to Remember from Titanic, don't know enough about, nor do I have an interest. Ron I already own, and it's a DVD release, so buy that Studio Canal Blu-ray. F is for Fake, not Fulci. I don't know anything about it. Looks like Orson Welles there. Paths of Glory, I've seen. I would give it some thought. I've seen it, like it a lot, but it's Stanley Kubrick. I don't know. I just don't find it as a rewatchable type of movie. Kirk Douglas, general who has to defend. It's such an anti-war movie, and it's so well done. But I'd give it some thought. If there's other things you like, maybe you'd want to buy that. Just because I don't know, it's not very rewatchable. You probably watch it once every couple of years, to be honest. But it is a phenomenal movie. So if you're swimming in that stimmy check, then you know you could throw $20 that way. But if you're not, then you could just stream it, or that's what I did, is just stream it and then watch it and then brag how you've seen Paths of Glory like I have. Death of a Salesman, I think is what's called. I don't know, but that's going to be going to don't know about. Eraserhead. That is a potential contender. Again, you know what? I'd even put it as a definite contender. Just because it's a David Lynch movie that I kind of run and rewatch even after one watch. So you can watch it in different ways to learn more about it. The cover is gorgeous, and it's just such a weird movie. You kind of want to own it. So I'd put Eraserhead there. Days of Heaven, Terrence Malick. I haven't heard good things, but I haven't seen it. But I don't know enough about it to recommend it. Don't know what that DVD is, but that's going there. 12 Angry Men is a definite buy, and I don't even need to explain it anymore, other than it's a perfect Sidney Lumet film. Don't know anything about this movie, so there's a lot of Criterions I haven't seen. House, I have seen, and it is crazy. And I would put it as a potential contender. It's a crazy... you know what? Screw it. It's going to get the Eraserhead treatment. It's a definite contender. It's a wild-ass movie with images of a cat shooting lasers. House is a crazy-ass movie. It's a fun house. It's a midnight drive-in, get drunk with your buddies and watch what's on screen type of movie. But for $20, again, you got that stimmy. throw that house. Rosemary's Baby. Oh, God. It almost makes me want to have a kid because that is a definite buy movie. It took me a long time to get around to Rosemary's Baby. And when I did, my God, I realized how great film really is. Yeah, Roman Polanski's masterpiece. Rosemary's Baby I've seen like 2 or 3 times since I've seen it for the first time. And I think I saw it for the first time almost 2 years ago. And yeah, it's just great. I love Rosemary's Baby. The quote unquote slow burn, but I mean, I just think it's just such a phenomenal horror movie. Kwaidan, which is a anthology horror, that's Asian cinema, I believe. I'd give it some thought because I don't know completely much else other than that, but it sounds very intriguing. And, it might be a potential contender, but like I only heard about it recently and I haven't done much else work on it. So I put it there. Mahalo Drive. Don't know much about, but I'd give it. I don't know. I hear it's crazy. It's kind of like the Blue Velvet thing for me. I'm not opposed to Lynch, but I'm not very well versed in his stuff. A little hit or miss. The Paul Schrader movie here, I'd say no. Doesn't look remotely interesting ever to me. Whatever the hell this movie is, that would go at. Don't know enough about The Blob, the original Blob. I'd say almost no way, just because 88 Blob is so good. I haven't seen this movie, but I just know I don't need to, Like, I don't know. I just hear it's all right. I don't hear anything spectacular about it. So, yeah, unless you love like 50s like horror like that, I guess. I have no idea what certified copy is. Okay, Police Story 1 and 2. Here we go. Top contender. You know what? I don't own it. I've seen both these movies and they're great. Actually, I would put it as a definite buy just because you get 2 movies that are phenomenal, kick-ass, and I love the cover art for it. I just haven't yet bought it. But yeah, I would put Jackie Chan's Police Stories 1 and 2 as definite buys. Lord of the Flies, I don't know enough about with this movie. I've read the book though. Oh, Andrei Rublev. I would say almost no way I would buy just because it's a long runtime. I hear it's great. I'd rather wait to watch in a movie theater and have just a human experience with it and then be done with it. I don't know if it's a movie you would want to own just based on what I've heard, what it's about and stuff. It just sounds so heavy. That's depreciating value if I bought it and left it on my shelf and watched only once, I don't know. That's my thought on that. A Man Escaped. I have no idea what that is. Yee. This one would go with In the Mood for Love here. Because, again, it's a movie. It's a movie that I've heard about, but I haven't seen. So I'd give it some thought because it looks interesting. A Raisin in the Sun. Sidney Lumet. I would put this as a potential contender. I've heard really great things. If anything, I put it as I haven't seen it. It sounds like a good enough. It sounds like a great story, and Sidney Poitier is in this movie, and I hear he delivers a very great performance. And that cover art is gorgeous, so I'd put it as a definite contender if I were at a Barnes and Noble or something. The Discreet Charm or the Bourgeoisie. I haven't actually seen it, but it has a new Blu-ray release. So if we're talking about the Blu-ray release, I'd give it some thought just because Studio Canal has a Louis Buñuel box set. It has a lot of his works that are really it's really cheap. So I might opt to buy that instead of buying the one individual movie. But I think this new release is going to have like 3 works of his, I believe. I'm not quite sure. Chungking Express, the out-of-print Blu-ray, no. Just wait for a box set. And it looks like we have hit... Oh, man, there's a few movies in here that you know what? I'm going to just keep going just because this list is looking crazy. But we hit our first duplicate, but there's a few in here that I still haven't yet talked about. Because look at this long, long list. Let's see. Let's keep going. Brighter Summer Day. I don't know enough about. Let's see. Anatomy of a Murder. Almost no way I would buy. I'd probably just watch it first. I only watch it because the Herbie Hancock score in it, but that's about it. Antichrist. I'd give it some thought. It's actually a freaking great movie. It's a little pretentious. It has no rewatchability unless you like Willem Dafoe's ass in awkward sex scenes. But I'd give it some thought still. So that's where I'd put Antichrist. Oh, man. What is this? The Apu trilogy? I'd have to give it some... I put it as a potential. This might be a box set that might be worth blind buying. Just based on its history. Badlands... Almost no, I would say. The only other Terrence Malick movie I might be interested in watching. Before trilogy... Don't own it, but my buddy Seth does, and I put that as a top contender. Just because I haven't seen these movies. Oh, I saw the first one, but I haven't seen the other two, but I love that first one. It's a gorgeous box set. So, yeah, I would put it as a top contender. Oh, boy. Bicycle Thieves. I have not seen. I've heard great things, though, so I'd give it a thought. I don't know if I'd blind buy it, though. I'd give it a thought. Blood Simple. No. Nah. Bottle Rockets. Again, this is going to go with the Grand Budapest Hotel argument with that. Boyhood, another Linklater film. You can get a very cheap standard release, so you could put it as a potential contender. I don't even care for the movie that much. It's a great movie. I personally wouldn't watch it often, so that's why I put it as a potential contender. Brazil. Who directs this movie? Terry Gilliam does, I believe. I'd give it some thought. It sounds interesting enough. It's a sci-fi dystopian movie, but I don't know much else about it. And now it has a standard Blu-ray release as well. Breaking Ways, Lars von Trier, no. City Lights, Charlie Chaplin, top contender. I don't remember much about it. I saw it in like high school. I remember really liking it, but I haven't rewatched it lately. But it's a Charlie Chaplin movie that's highly regarded. Most people love this movie. I'll put it as a top contender. I believe it'd be a safe blind buy, if you haven't seen any of Charlie Chaplin's works. Let's see here. That movie I haven't seen. Terry Zwigoff in Crumb. I love his movie Ghost World. So I would give it I'd give it some thought again. I haven't seen it, but yeah, I don't know. I have to do some research. I'll probably watch it first just to make sure I'd like it. The Godzilla box set. How do I be objective about this? If you don't have that stimmy money to splash on it, if you're not interested I'm just kidding. That is a definite buy. The most bang for your buck for movies you can't get anywhere else. If you're not a Godzilla fan, then stay away. If you have interest in Godzilla and early guys in suits wrestling and it's cheesy Saturday morning cartoon stuff, then yeah, it's a definite buy. But to me, it's one of my prized possessions in my collection. I love this thing. It's gorgeous. It has so much information. But yeah, I could go on that. That's a definite buy. Deepan, don't know anything about. Diabolic, I actually don't know much about, and I've heard mixed things, surprisingly. So I would say no. Godzilla, the standalone. 54 Godzilla from Ishiro Honda. Throw that baby in a definite buy. Even if you don't want the box set, at least get that. It's great. So that's where I'm not biased at all with these picks, of course. Harold and Maude, I don't know much about. Doesn't sound that interesting, I'm going to be honest, though. Hunger, almost no way I would buy. Just sounds so heavy. Steve McQueen, I would watch it, but I wouldn't buy. Just sounds so hot. It just sounds heavy. Daniel Blake doesn't. We're just gonna skip that one. The Bergman box set. If you have the stimmy for it, it's a definite buy, dude. And girls who are watching, it's just the most bang for your buck for such great movies. I don't know. I don't regret buying that box set at all. So that's where I would put the Bergman thing. It's essential. You need to buy it. Investigation of a citizen above suspicion. I don't know anything about that. Or what is that? Limelight by Chaplin. Oh man, there's a lot of movies on here. Shit. Let's see here. Man, there are a lot of movies. Jeez. We're going to just keep going, I guess. If they're movies I haven't obviously seen because it's getting ridiculous here, then I'm not going to even touch them. Let's see here. Macbeth. Let's talk about Roman Polanski's Macbeth. I'd have to give it some thought. I've heard that might be one of his best movies ever, and his filmography is pretty great. He's not good at all, but his movies are pretty good. I'd have to do my research on it, though. Let's see. M by Fritz Lang. I've heard good things about it, but I haven't done any homework. So I'd give it some... Actually, it doesn't sound that much interesting, so I'd say no. Probably pass up and just stream it somewhere. I'm not even going to talk... Well... Moonrise Kingdom is one of those few Wes Anderson movies that you could buy because it's probably one of his best, but I still can't break that Wes Anderson rule. They all have to go in there. Naked Lunch, I have no idea about. Let's see, something... Paris, Texas. Phenomenal movie. Not what I was expecting. And I would say... almost no way I would buy. The reason for it is it's not a rewatchable movie. It's great. It's a really great movie. Wim Wenders. I don't see myself rewatching it again. It's a movie I watched and I'm very happy I did because it's really great stuff. Princess Bride. Own this one. That one has to be a definite buy. Such an amazing Rob Reiner film. And it's a great release. So, sorry, haters. Let's see. Rushmore. Oh, Salo. No, don't buy it. Watch other Pier Paolo Pasolini films and appreciate his works that way. Don't just quickly go and watch Salo and be one of those memers. 400 Belows. Truffaut. Seen it. Really good stuff. A definite contender. I don't own it, but I've seen it. And I usually on sales, it's always in my cart. Sometimes I just can't pull the trigger, though. Even though it's right there. Oh, man. Look at all these freaking movies. Let me just go through and see here if there's any movies. Y Tu Mama Tambien. Thief. Owned that. The Kid. Great Escape. A lot of repeats here. I'm actually getting lost. Let's see. Yeah, let's just quickly... Y Tu Mama Tambien. I have to put that... Yeah, I have to bring those all the way up. So, you know what? I'm going to end my video like this. There's a lot of movies on here with a lot of duplicates, but this is what the first tier list for this channel looks like. For criterions that you should consider buying during the sale, these are 100% like definitive buys. Like, you have to buy these movies. These are all phenomenal movies that you won't regret. They're rewatchable. A lot of them are inexpensive. They're really great releases with the packaging and the details of the special features. Eyes Without a Face, Seven Samurai. Yeah, you see these cover arts here. I don't have to explain them. Top Contender. These are going to be movies that you could totally buy, but like if you own them or if you've already seen, like I understand like holding off to maybe the next sale to get a definite contender. These are movies that could easily be bought, but you just don't have the room in your cart to be buying these. You add these to your wish list, and you've probably seen these already. Potential contenders are movies that you've seen, you like, but you don't need to own, while also possible blind buys you would actually buy. I'll give it some thought. These are movies you need to do research on. These are movies you have piqued your curiosity, but you haven't seen, or you have seen and you just don't see the rewatchability. Almost no way I would buy the movies listed here. These are movies that they're not worth your money, but they might be worth your time. But for me, they both don't equate together. These no movies, these are just movies I don't think you need to bother buying. You should watch some of them, but I would, even after watching them, I'd still be like, don't need to own it. Don't care for it too much. Don't know enough about. We had clearly a lot there, but yeah, this was our first tier, and I'm curious, what do you guys think of this tier list? Did I miss my mark? What did you think? What would be another tier list you would like to see on this channel? Drop in the comments down below what kind of tiers you'd like to see. If you haven't, again, like I said, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and go down in the comments, introduce yourself. I'd love to engage with you all there. Also, check out my podcast, Inside the Sequel, where we have a lot of big things coming up, a lot of things involving Godzilla for the upcoming movie. I'll get you all prepared for it. But yeah, other than that, my name is Chris here at Hertastic Reviews, and remember, if you're not looking forward to that Criterion flash sale that's coming this month, then do you really care about cinema? Anyway, I'll see you next time.